size 11 beads on these outfits. Now there's a lot of people that use applique. There's a lot of different ways of making outfits today. But I was so inspired by watching the fully beaded outfits, I dreamed that someday I'd be able to have one myself. Now you can't go to Walmart and buy something like this. Most of these regalia items and stuff are usually passed down through relatives, or people make them themselves. So anyway, getting back to the bustle, the feathers are all sacred to us. In fact, that there is, way back in Mi'kmaq culture, back to the stories of Glooskap, he talks about, in the creation story, how Kitgul, the eagle, had given him the feather, and what he would use that feather for. So that part is also tied to this style of dance, okay? So we respect the feathers. They say, well, why do you wear so many feathers? They say because there's a belief of bringing us closer to the Creator. And the feathers are only used for they're not decorations, right? So these things are either earned, or if you're lucky to have them passed down in the family. Some people find them, but these types of feathers, a lot of these things a lot of these ceremonial items were gifted to me. A lot of times when someone makes a commitment to dance, and when they're making a commitment to dance, they're making a commitment to for their lifetime to not participate in drugs or alcohol, to try their best to live in a good way, to be a good example for the next generation. And they'll have, when they come out dancing, they'll have a giveaway and all that stuff as part of their commitment to the community and to the people. So I was honored to be able to have that ceremony. I first came out dancing in a place called Chickaloon, Alaska. It's an Athabascan community. And since I was so far away from home, all the drum groups and the people there acted on behalf of my family and people. And they made beadwork and things like that. And we put out blankets like this, and we did a giveaway. And I was really honored that they would do that for me. And but anyway, I was so inspired by this dance, and the Lefebvre family gifted me this bustle. So now I got a responsibility, right? Now I got to learn to dance. And so that kind of began my journey. And I danced, and I learned from, when I first came out dancing, I had veterans, a couple of veterans, that they were war veterans from Vietnam that danced me out. I was really, really honored to have that experience. Just seeing if I missed anything. So that's just a little bit about on feathers. Before we get any further with the rest of this regalia, I just wanted Michelle to share a little bit about, this is men's northern traditional style dance. And I wanted her to show a little bit about women's northern traditional and also southern style. So I think hers is more towards the southern style of beadwork designs that she has.
Yeah. So I have a cloth, many cloth bits at home, which is really nice to have. They're easy to wash and stuff. But my dream was to have a hide. And I sit and watch these beautiful ladies on YouTube with their high dresses, and I'm like, oh, I wanted to have one. So I was really lucky that I had an opportunity. So I think, how many, 6 or 7 hides?
6 or 7 deer hides to do that.
They're not that big, right? So, yeah, and it was a puzzle, but we made it. So I started out dancing northern traditional, and northern and southern traditional, there's a little difference in how they dance.
This is the leggings that she wears too. The leggings.
But it just felt so more deep, and we're more passionate with the southern style. It's just so graceful. So I can show the difference between the two styles of dances later. Yeah. So I based mine on the southern style, since that's what I'm going to be dancing. So, and of course I wanted to have the Mi'kmaq designs on it, because I'm Mi'kmaq, right? So I can't, and here again, we have the fringe, so that connects the whole way to Mother Earth. This is the skirt. And on top of that, we have something called a yoke. And it's very heavy, this stuff. All put together, but it's worth it. It's You have, now, on these regalias, every part of the regalia has a meaning, and I'm still in the process of learning. So, I can't today tell you everything, but you've got tabs hanging down, and you have these, they're supposed to symbolize the deer.
Like the deer lights. Like it,
They
they
wouldn't
didn't
put them
have
on.
fancy cutting tools.
Right?
So, yeah.
So we got those, and I have, of course, the stars going down. So, as I said, this was southern. The northern style would have fully beaded. Yeah, and these beads are glass beads, so
Yeah. It's heavy enough as it is, right?
quite the weight. And the fringe here, when you dance,
It totally moves.
yeah, in southern style, it will sway back and forth like this. And in the northern traditional, you get this
More of a bounce.
more of a, yeah, so, and around the waist of the yoke, I would have my tack belt.
Some people use fully beaded belts, but tack belts are popular as well.
And now the tack, this belt here usually has, and it's over here, it's a knife case. You want to hold up the knife case and the alt case, and because, and that is not just like decoration, but back in the day when they had their high dresses on, and that would be for our family, our people too, they will have their tools connected to their belt, right? So, and the breastplate is for protection, protect your chest area from.
Well, there's also a trade item too.
Yeah.
The fact that people would trade, it was like a currency, right? People could trade these things, these breastplates, and the longer they were, of course, the more valuable they were, and that's part of the reason why they get longer and longer.
So southern, northern style have the breastplate just front, I believe it is.
Yeah.
And the southern style have also a little short piece in the back. And that's where I have my trailers. Now, I don't know the meaning of those, but they sure are pretty. Right?
Yeah.
So, but as I said, I mean, I love to learn more of it, every meaning of the regalia. So, of course, yeah, I would have my leggings on, and all my beadwork belong together, all the colors, and for me they symbolize, and I love bling, as you can see. So I have the double curves, I have the ulu symbol in it, so that when people see me at powwows or whatever, it's not that, oh, but it's, they know who I am.
I just wanted to share something. She said Onu, and that's our traditional name for ourselves. The word Mi'kmaq, according to Danny Paul, actually came from the Passamaquoddy. That word, Mi'kmaq. And,
That's the word they had for us.
yeah, yeah. But our word for ourselves is Onu. Yeah.
That means the people.
Yeah.
Did you guys make that yourself?
Yeah.
Yep.
And how did this start out? I had beadwork that I was very honored to be gifted. And he said, oh, you should make yourself some cuffs for it. And I started with the cuffs, but it was a totally different set of colors then. And then, oh yeah, you should make some hair ties, he said. Right. And then suddenly I was doing the whole.
And she felt like she had to do the whole thing then.
Yeah,
Got her
but I don't
started.
regret it because this represents me, and I'm so proud when I wear it because I've done this myself, and because I've never beaded before because I was living away from the music, right? So.
Well, it's nice too when you go to travel to dance that you're representing your community and your people in the best way that you can. So the dress as nicely as you can. We're not just representing our families, but we're representing all the Mi'kmaq people here in Dahlem, right? So, and she's a very good dancer, and you guys will see in a little while.
Moccasins, hardstyle moccasins to go with it.
Now, I just want to say about that those are northern traditional style, like plain style moccasins as well. I'm wearing the same things. Our people would have used soft sole moccasins because, made for the tundra and stuff like that. You want to be able to, back in the days when you were hunting stealth, you didn't want twigs going underneath your feet and giving you away. With the soft sole mocks, you could feel everything under your feet. And so they had reasons why they wore different types of stuff. Out west, I guess, there was a lot of rockiness, and they developed these hard sole moccasins. And I guess I got sensitive feet, so I used the hard sole. But there's a lot of people also wear soft sole moccasins, right?
So do you want me to show the rest of the,
No, people can come up and check it out later if they like.
what about the plumes and that?
Yeah, you can do that later too.
Okay.
Yep. So, thank you very much. Yeah, there's a lot. I mean, it's a lot of stuff to cover, right? There's so much. So, when I was coming out as a dancer, there was an elder by the name of Walter Austin, and he told me this story. He said, there's going to be a lot of young people that are going to watch you dance, and they're going to want to imitate you and be like you and all this stuff. He said, remember that we dance for those who cannot dance, and to give hope for the future, right? So it's important that no matter how good you look out there dancing, the most important time to be a traditional dancer is when you take your regalia off and you're wearing your jeans and t-shirt and you're out on the street curb and you think nobody's seeing you. That's the most important time, he said, to be a dancer, because it's about our value system. How we treat elders, how we treat women, and how we respect our culture and ourselves. So, unfortunately, he's passed away some years ago, but I was fortunate to have those kinds of teachings and stuff. So I try to share that with other people. That if you're thinking about dancing, that we're really happy to have people to come out and dance and to help give hope for the future generations and to tell the older generation that the old ways are not dying, that they're still there. So I came out dancing, and this is my second regalia. The first one I had was just the double curve style beadwork on moose hide, actually, and I ended up passing that regalia on just as I passed on the bustle to Bobby White. And so I wanted to, like I said, my dream was to have a fully beaded regalia. I always wanted it. So that's where this kind of started. So I'm going to start putting things together. I wonder if you guys can tell me what you think this is. Any idea?
A bone?
What's that?
Bone?
I don't know what that is.
Okay.
I just guessed the random thing. What? Is that like a stick made out of this?
No, it's a stick though. That's right.
Okay.
Okay, watch. Let's see what this looks like. So I'm gonna start putting things together. I'm gonna put this together, and then I'm gonna ask Michelle to do my hair when I get this going. But yeah, check this out. This is something.
Oh, that's wrapped. Oh, now I know what that is.
Okay. So they wrap this to keep it in good shape.
Oh,
That's it.
I know.
Oh, okay.
Oh my goodness.
And this is called a roach that men wear, and it's made from porcupine guard hair and deer tails that have been dyed. See, that red and yellow, and it's all woven onto a rope base. And I'm just going to put this together for you now. So this represents the rays of the sun. Right? And there's a couple different parts that I use on this. Let's see here. I'll put this part on first. And this is called a roach spreader, a roach spreader.
I'm doing you put that on top?
Yeah. Now this is just the spreader. Pretty much doesn't so much spread the hair as it does the holding in the roach feathers. And these are tail feathers from the outer edges of the tail on each extreme. And these particular feathers came from golden eagle, which we don't have a lot of them around here. It was gifted to me from an elder. Like I was saying, a lot of things are people, they want to be a part of your dance, so they donate. It's like, hey, I found this. Really, they've probably been just holding on to it, waiting for someone they felt comfortable to share it with. So these feathers came from an elder in Fairbanks, Alaska. And it's got, the light chain, you can turn on the lights.
Mm-hmm.
It's got that attached to them, and they come through here because they can spin, right? The wind, and we really get moving, you can get the feathers to really move. So yes, so I'm going to put this together, and it just takes a moment. At least I hope it takes a moment. Sometimes it takes me a little bit. We're going to put this all together. Just do this for now. And then
Thank you.